Well, hi folks, it's time to start coring out my sand barrels now for my long carrots. These are the ones in the polytunnel. I've got some outside as well. So I've got a barrel here, it's about 3 foot tall, it's on top of another foot of sand in a box, and I'm just going to use a 3-inch drain pipe. I've put a little thing in there just to help me push it right down if it gets too hard, and it's just as simple as plunging this down slowly, a bit at a time, to try and get the sand out. Now hopefully it should stick inside the tube, which it has done. I'll just chuck the rest spare in there. What I do, I like to sort of water it about a week in advance, let it settle, and then it helps the sand stick to the inside of the tube. And you can also score the inside of the pipe with a knife or a file or something to give it a bit of a few scratches to help it grip. So I'm just going to get on top and get this down. Hopefully it should still keep sticking. Yeah. I'll just keep going down slowly until you get to the bottom of the sand, which for me is that. It's about 4 foot. So if I get a carrot out that long, that's the depth of the hole, I'll be happy with that. So really just, I do that, and then you can use a bar or use a sort of thick shaft of a hoe, as it is here. Might be a little bit too long. I'm going to put that in the pipe and then just work it round like that, make it slightly conical so it's a bit wider at the top, maybe 4 inches, 4.5 inches at the top. So then there's just going to be a little bit more compost, and it's going to be a slightly conical shaped hole. So that's what I do with that. Now you can do them one at a time and fill them one at a time with compost, because sometimes they can actually start to collapse on each other, but I'll just do the rest one at a time now. So I'll do another one, and then I'll show you all finished and I'll show you how easy it is to just fill them up. So again, it's just a matter of plunging your pipe in a bit at a time. There's no point in trying to get it all done at once, because you can end up pushing the sand down rather than putting it into the pipe. Get a bit of weight. It's usually easier than this. I don't know why it's... That's me at the bottom again. So that's the last bit of depth. And again, just carefully stick a bar in, or get it as deep as you can. That's as deep, that's to the floor. And then slowly, if you do it slowly, you shouldn't affect the other holes. Shouldn't have any collapses. And just widen it out a touch like that. So I'll do the other 4, and then I'll go show you how easy it is to fill them up. So that's all 5 holes, 6 holes done now. A lot of people, some of the top growers only put 4 in, or maybe 5, but I like to put one in the middle as well, just to get as much out as I can. So I'm just going to use a funnel that I've just made out of a few old plant pots stuck together, and then it's just a matter of slowly dribbling your preferred mix of choice in. Now I used to tap it down sort of as it went down the hole, but I've just found it just finds its own sort of consistency just by dropping it in under its own weight now, so I don't bother squashing it down with a little cane or anything as we're going along. Just sort of just trickling it in until you get to the top. Nearly there now. That's the top. Just slightly firm the top down a touch. And that's it really. just repeat 5 times, 6 times, and then I'll sow the seed sort of early April for the September shows, and hopefully we get a decent sized carrot out. But it's exactly the same way to do this as you would with the stump carrots, but except the stump carrots, instead of making the hole conical at the top, you just take the pipe out as it and leave the hole the same width as the pipe. So basically what it's a matter of doing is taking your pipe and pushing it down. I've got a mark on there because I want them all exactly the same depth, so that's set to 22 inches, so you don't need to do it in one full go. And as you can see, the sand's stuck in the pipe, thankfully. I'll just drop it out into my bucket and go in again, go down to the mark, that's 22 inches, and hopefully it should all stay in the pipe. Now some people have trouble keeping the sand in the pipe. Now this can be for 2 reasons. One, your sand's too sharp and not got enough fine sand in it, or it's too dry. Now what I do, I water my sand about a day or 2 before. I'll make sure it's quite moist but let it drain, and I also scratch the inside of the pipe really well to give the sand something to key to. And if you are having that problem, try that. Or another thing is, when you're lifting it out, you put your hand over the top to try and form a bit of a vacuum, which can also help lift the sand out. But like I say, I don't seem to have many problems because I've got the reasonable sort of sand. And another thing is, if you've got loose sand, you can actually do one hole and then fill it, do another hole, fill it, because otherwise you might be risking the whole thing collapsing. But like I say, mine never seems to do that. I can always do all the holes in one go and then fill them all in one go as well. So that's another one down to the mark. There we go folks, that's 16 holes done. That's the sort of size, 2.5, 2 3/4 inches. I've done roughly about 6-inch centres, so I can get 16 in a just short of a 2-foot square box. They're all exactly the same size and depth, so hopefully that'll maximise the chance of uniformity in the carrots if everything's grown exactly the same size hole. So I'll just show you how I fill the hole up now with the special compost. Alright then folks, this is the compost, the stuff I mix up. Like I said, I did a video of that. If you look through my videos, you'll see what I put into it and how I do it. It's basically just really finely sieved Levington stuff, but you can use any compost you like really. It's just that I know what I'm getting with Levingtons because it's usually the same every year. And I've made myself a little proper old allotment funnel. Necessity's the mother of invention and all that stuff, so all I'm going to do is just simply trickle this compost down till the hole's filled. I used to actually tamp it down a little bit with a cane, but I've stopped doing that the last 2 years and I've had far better results just letting it settle under its own weight. I reckon it takes about 1.5 litres of compost to fill each hole, so it's not a great deal. So that's that one, nearly full. Just give it a little light squashing down at the end, and that's one done. Now what I've started doing now is to put these just little rings, or just little cut-offs of a pipe straight over the hole, so that when you're watering you can actually just water straight into the compost rather than getting it everywhere, or if you're just broadcasting your watering, it doesn't wash the compost out of the tubes. So that's what a lot of these top show growers started doing, so I thought why not try it, and it seemed to work. So it is a bit of a tedious task, but I could think of worse things to do. So that's another one. Just give it a little. So it doesn't take that long. So that's a couple done. So I'll finish off, show you what it looks like. Alright folks, that's it done now. 16 in that box, 20 in that box. I've got about another 40 to do outside. But that's it really. I'll just give them a little bit of a quick water in, and I'll cover them up with polythene until I sow my seeds. And I'll be sowing seeds, 2 sweet candle seeds in each station as they're called, and then thinning down to the strongest one. and I'll give them 150 days from sowing to pulling for the shows ideally. Then they've got a really good stump end on them, and if they're as good as last year, then I'll be really happy. So that's the stump ones done. Now